This airline saved $500,000 per year just by changing its fruit. In the 1980s, the head of American Airlines calculated that he could save around $40,000 a year by removing one olive from the airline's first-class meals. He also predicted that the passengers wouldn't notice. Northwest Airlines then did something similar in 2011, where they saved $500,000 each year by cutting their limes into sixteenths instead of the usual tenths. Of course, passengers didn't actually notice this change. There never used to be lines down the middle of roads. A man called Edward Hines was a member of the Waynes County Road Commission in Michigan, US. During 1911, he observed a milk wagon drive down the road he was driving on. The milk truck, however, had a leak, and this gave him the idea that having a line in the middle of the road would probably be a good way to determine which direction each side of the traffic goes. So he used this inspiration to paint the first middle line that same year, and it was so popular that it was eventually taken worldwide. This Chinese year is the year of the rabbit, so by Chinese tradition, people born in this year will be gentle, quiet, and elegant, much like a rabbit. People born in this year will be most compatible with goats, dogs, and pigs, and their lucky numbers will be 3, 4, and 6. Other famous rabbit year people are Albert Einstein and Lionel Messi. This octopus is crazy. A certain type of octopus has to defend itself against predators that look for silhouettes created from the light above the ocean and against predators that generate their own light. To do this, the octopus is completely transparent save for its guts and its eyes, which are reflective to reduce the shadow they cast. For the other predators like the anglerfish, this octopus has developed the ability to change its skin pigment to make it less reflective. Did you know that Australia is wider than the moon and Russia has more surface area than Pluto? For some reason, Venus doesn't have any moons, and all planets except Earth are named after Roman gods. Over 1 million Earths could fit inside the Sun. Talking about the Sun, its mass takes up 99.86% of the solar system. There are more trees on Earth than stars in the Milky Way, as there are 3 trillion trees on Earth, but only 200 billion stars in the Milky Way. If a shark is flipped over, it can't move. When a shark is upside down, it goes into a tonic immobility for sometimes 15 minutes. This is where their muscles and respiratory system loosen. Their dorsal fins also become more streamlined. This is said to be a defense mechanism, but this is often used against the sharks. Orcas are seen flipping over sharks to suffocate them and make them easier to prey upon. Did you know that some navies are using dolphins? In the 1960s, the US Navy set up the Marine Mammal Program to train sea animals for tasks such as harbor protection, mine detection, and equipment collection. The animals they used were bottlenose dolphins and Californian sea lions. Other navies that are known to train animals like this are the Soviet, and now Russian, navies. The Russian Defense Ministry bought 5 of these dolphins in 2016. These were the highest earning sports people in 2022. The bottom 5 on this list are all players from basketball, American football, boxing, and tennis. Number 5 is basketball player Stephen Curry, and number 3 and 4 are football players Neymar and Cristiano Ronaldo. The sports person who earned the second highest salary was LeBron James, earning over $121 million. But the sports person who earned the most money in 2022 is the football player Lionel Messi, who earned $130 million. These car brands have the biggest market caps. The bottom on this list all have between $40 billion and $60 billion market caps. Number 5 and 4 are both from Germany, and the third manufacturer is Chinese company BYD. The second largest is Toyota with $185 billion, and the biggest car manufacturer in terms of market cap is Tesla with over $670 billion. Vikings used to insult each other for sport. If you've watched any Viking TV shows or played any Viking video game, you will know that they play many games to occupy time. One of these games is called flighting. The rules are simple. Try to insult your opponent in verse better than they insult you. The winner would drink a large cup of mead to celebrate, and could invite the loser to drink as well.
With such drivel to speak, I see why you keep mum.
There is a light bulb that has been on since 1901. In 1880, Thomas Edison created the first commercially viable light bulb that was made from a thick carbon filament. As people at the time didn't want to buy replacement light bulbs, the companies made them last as long as possible. When the light bulb got into the general market though, the companies realized that it wasn't profitable to make bulbs last a long time. So they came together to set the limit at around 1,000 hours. The bulbs these days, however, are made out of thin tungsten, but one still burning today is the Centennial Light, that has been on for a whopping 112 years. Have you ever wondered why the food served on planes isn't nice? Well, there are multiple reasons for this. The first is that your taste buds don't work as well at 40,000 feet than they do on the ground. The food on aircraft is also mass-produced in big kitchens, leading to a loss of taste. The loud noise of the aircraft engines, the air conditioning, and the dry air can also make it difficult to taste the food and make it taste bland. Sweden is so safe that it actually imports its prisoners. Ever since 2004, Sweden has had a steady drop in crime and had to close down 24 jails since 2014. This caused some jobs to be lost, so to stop more jobs from being lost, 242 inmates had to be sent to Sweden. They were sent from Norway since 2015. There is a sea that doesn't have a coastline and is entirely covered with seaweed. Let me explain. Off the eastern coast of North America, there is a sea called the Sargasso Sea that is entirely covered with seaweed called sargassum that reproduces where it is floating. This sea is scary for sailors as it contains the island of Bermuda in it, and hence is in the Bermuda Triangle. Christopher Columbus once said that he believed it was hiding dangerous coral reefs, which were capable of sinking unsuspecting ships. Valentine's Day is an ancient tradition as it comes from ancient Rome. There are two theories on how the day started. One is that a priest named Valentine defied the emperor at the time and legally married young couples, getting sentenced to death in the process. Another theory is that a man named Valentine was killed for helping Christians escape prison, which was also in Rome. He sent a letter while he was imprisoned himself, with it being signed, "From your Valentine."